Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. It's Friday. Super excited for Friday. It's also, we're wrapping up Pride Month. June is Pride. If you don't know what Pride is, I've tagged it in all of my posts, so you should definitely click on that link. I'm super excited and honored to have these wonderful human beings who are also real estate agents, real estate professionals on the show with me, and of course, they're dear friends as well. We have LuLu Rivera Freeman. She's with Realty, and we have Shawn Layton and Jimmy Hendrickson. They're the Central Florida homeboys. We got a couple other people that might join us in a minute. Eric Rawlings, hopefully, and Ben Laub or Lobby. Anyway, Ben's awesome too. So thank you guys for coming on the show. My whole thought process behind it was we have the LGBTQ plus Real Estate Alliance, but that's only one section. A lot of people don't understand Pride. They know about LGBTQ plus. They understand a little bit of the community, but only about what they've read. And you all make such a giant impact, I feel like, in the community, not only because of your own efforts and advocacy, but because you're working directly with buyers and sellers all day long. People who, oh, hi, Linda. Linda's on, I'm sorry. People who are enmeshed in the community, and you guys actually touch that all the time. So I wanted to talk about Pride, talk about the impact, and all of that good stuff. So before we get into that, let's do intros. People love the origin story. They want to know about you. So we're going to start ladies first. LuLu Rivera Freeman, tell us about you.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much, Ted, for having me on today. Such a pleasure and an honor and to be with these gentlemen. So my name is LuLu Rivera Freeman. I am with Live Realty. What else do you want to know? I'm a realtor, obviously. I'm married to the most amazing woman I know. She feeds me very well and keeps me very happy. There's always the one that does something better than the other, right? So for me, she does pretty much everything better than me. So I am super lucky and blessed to do what I do and work for a company that allows me to be myself and to really dedicate my time and work my way, the way I want to work with my people, not only people in our community, but the whole entire community, to give back, whether it is something with pride or taking pride in giving to a back to school event or whatever the case may be. I'm always looking for ways to give back, and what better thing than our own community, right?
Amen to that. And you do a fantastic job of it.
Thank you.
All right, Shawn and Jimmy, introduce yourselves. Tell us about you, the Central Florida homeboys.
I am Shawn Layton.
And Jimmy Hendrickson.
We are a top 500 husband realtor team here in Orlando. We're with Keller Williams at the Parks. We've been in real estate for going on 4 years. Next year, next month.
Yeah, anniversary is next month.
Next month will be our anniversary. Yay!
Yay! Congratulations!
We have been deeply involved with the local LGBTQ plus community for a long time, even before real estate. We wanted to bring that into our business, give back on our own terms, and create a better way of living for a lot of people. And that's exactly what we feel we're doing. We're members, actually co-presidents of the Orlando chapter Real Estate Alliance. Part of the Rainbow as well, which is a new one. Yeah, we're just so honored to be here today. So thank you, Ted.
Well, I'm excited to have you guys. I mean, one of the things that I think people who don't understand what Pride is, we're going to talk about that in a minute. They don't understand how much advocacy the community itself does, and education, awareness programs that aren't necessarily specifically just LGBTQ plus, but really impact the community as a whole. So before we get into that and how you all make an impact as realtors in the community, somebody tell me about Pride. I know what it is, but I think a lot of people, they hear Pride and they either think gay days at Disney, the things that go through people's minds. When I've done shows, any LGBTQ plus show, people are always amazed. They didn't understand what the words were. So I don't know who wants to take it, but give us a definition. What is Pride? Boys, girls.
Okay, so
Wanna take it away?
Pride is not just the party, right? Of
Right.
course, we're partying, but Pride is a celebration of life. Pride is a celebration of each other, the unity and the quality that we have in each other, and we celebrate everyone as equals, no matter what sexual orientation, gender identity, race, religion, gay, straight, LGBTQ plus allies included. Everyone is included in Pride, and we celebrate life.
I agree. I think like you said, Ted, whenever someone thinks about Pride, they think about parties and Girls in Wonderland and the amazing drag shows that we have in town, which is all a great part of it, right? But it's all about, like you said, community, not just our own. And I think the misconception is that Pride is just for us, right? But I think Pride is for everyone, our allies, our family members, our friends. I think it's a good thing for anyone to take away from today, is that it's just not about our rainbows and our feathers and the party. It's about community and that love is love movement toward everyone.
I
Amen
think
to
it
that.
also goes
Go
back
ahead.
to remembering why we're having Pride, remembering
Exactly.
how we got to the point to where we can
Yeah.
celebrate that. I think that's another important factor.
Those who have stood up and fought before us to allow us the freedoms that we have today.
What we have today, exactly.
Amen to that. All right, Eric Rawlings is here, so we're going to let him introduce. Give us a little backstory on you, Eric. Thank you for joining us. Tell us who you are and a little origin story on you.
Okay, well, thank you for having all of us, Ted, and thanks for recognizing Pride. Sorry about that. I was a little bit late because the Spectrum, there's outages in my area, of course. But so I work for Mainframe Real Estate. I've been there for 8 years now, and I have been a real estate agent for 19. But more importantly, I've been an LGBTQ advocate for many, many, many years. I came out when I was 17, and we marched on Washington in '93. Of course, I was only 4 years old, but
You were just a baby.
just a little.
In diapers.
No, seriously though, but it was like, went through the whole AIDS crisis, went through a lot of the things that, and what Shawn and Jimmy were just saying. I talk about some of the experiences and how we got Orlando to the more liberal, progressive city that it's in. A lot of these people weren't even born, and so it's that's why I think that when people visit the History Center and they dig a little bit deeper, there's some great documentaries that they can really see how many generations have been through such horrible things, and how lucky we are to live in a city that recognizes us and celebrates us as well.
Agreed. And I want to ask all four of you, and I'll start with Shawn and Jimmy. What was it? Has it changed? Have you seen an impact, a different approach or a shift? Do you feel like the people who don't understand Pride and LGBTQ and what that even means, do you feel like people are more amenable? I remember back in the day, amenable to working in the LGBTQ plus community. I remember back in the day, we had a website, gayrealtor.com. There was no anything but I loved working in that niche back in the day because I was such a big believer in what the LGBTQ community was trying to accomplish. But have you guys seen a shift? Do you feel like things are better, or are we still in a place where we need a ton of work? So I'll start with Shawn and Jimmy on that one.
I think we are in a better place. I think we have a lot of work to do. And I think with organizations like, come out with Pride, real estate organizations, professional organizations like the Alliance, we are coming together in a way to help progress push forward, to help the movement push forward. Yes, I think we're in a better place, but I also think there's a ton of work to do. There's a ton of education that needs to be done. And that's really where it all stems from. If you don't educate yourself, or if you don't surround yourself with people who are willing to help educate you and inspire you, then progress won't happen.
Into that. Jimmy, anything to add?
I mean, basically what Shawn said. I think there's always going to be a fight to be had. There's always going to be education that needs to be passed on to people, not just so they learn, but so they know what we've had to go through and what the people before us have had to go through. So I think that's, the biggest thing for me is just to continue the education.
Mhm.
How about you, Lou? What have you experienced from when you started to currently? You're finding things better, worse, the same? What's your take on how people react and how you do business in the community?
I agree. I think that we've come a long way. I think that we've, gone leaps and bounds, from just a few years ago. But I definitely agree. I think there's so much more work to be done. Like they said, education and more togetherness that I know can come from things like these, and from amazing organizations like the Alliance and everybody else that's out there supporting each other and just kind of showing that we are who we are, we do what we do, we're inclusive of everyone. I think that from the Pulse incident to now, I think there's been so much more awareness and so much more love given and taken, and so many barriers that have been taken down, that I think we've done amazingly, but there's so much more to be done, especially in the Latin community too. I feel like the Latin community has exploded and embraced the LGBTQ plus community in such a way that I'm super proud not only to be a realtor, not only to be a woman, not only to be a lesbian, but to be a Latina in this day and age, I think is amazing. And I hope that everyone out there watching can support what we're doing. And if they feel like they need to be part of it, they're afraid to be part of it, they need to come out. There's just so many ways to be part of amazing people like this. So yeah, I think we've done great, but we can do more. We can do better.
Love that. All right, Eric, you have been involved. Same question for you, obviously, but you've been involved locally.
And I can't wait to answer this.
Yes.
We need a new governor. That's what we need.
All right, Eric, go.
So we have done an amazing job here locally, and especially when I came out of the closet, I was 17, and during high school, I was so horribly bullied. And I think that my educational prospects after high school would have been better had I been better grades, because I was afraid to go to school, that sort of thing. And you look at now at all the gay straight alliances that Equality Florida has done an amazing job. I'm making sure that the time that you're learning about yourself, that you're also learning about the things that are going to empower you in the future. And I think that's great. You look at places like Zebra Coalition. You look at the center, where people, when you look at the stickers that are on all of our windows of our businesses, the Safe Place stickers, we didn't have that when, and in this town, and like Lulu said, especially, we always knew that there was an acceptance. We always knew that, people, enjoyed the flags flying from the lamppost for Pride. But after Pulse, we really saw it took a lot of those curtains back, and it really, it's horrible and how awful, and I still cry about it. I also cry about how happy I am that my neighbors support me, that our government supports us, that our business community supports us. And that's amazing. But then again, you go to Tallahassee, and it's a whole different ballgame. When you look at hateful things that the governor has done by vetoing funding for Zebra Coalition and for the mental health care of the Pulse survivors and their families on the first and second day of Pride Month. I think you have to be some sort of evil to go ahead and plan that out, that you're going to and this funding was $750,000 and $150,000. It wasn't millions upon millions, and we had $9.2 billion from the federal government just for these causes, and he chose to veto it in the first 2 days of Pride Month. So we do have a lot of work to do, and starting with the very top.
But I agree. I think that was interesting. We talked about that on a previous show, how that timing was definitely purposeful, my opinion. So let me ask you about the impact in the community. So you all, obviously, because you touch so many families and and buyers and sellers, and you're out there and you're embraced in it. If somebody is watching the show, what can they do to educate like you are doing? What can they get involved in? What are some of the things that you all know that if somebody said, I don't understand the letters, we did a whole show on that. I don't understand the pronouns, we did a whole show on that. So they get people get confused, but I feel like a lot of people just want to be educated so they don't seem stupid when they're having the conversation. So maybe I'm naive, maybe I'm Pollyanna, but I believe most people have good intentions, but they say stupid things because they're not educated, or they're afraid to say anything because they're not educated. What do you guys think? What can somebody do to get better educated and to get more involved in the LGBTQ plus community?
Oh, Ted, I'll say that I think within the gay community, if you had a test on pronouns and acronyms and stuff like that, I think that you might be surprised that there would be a lot less A's in that group, yes. And maybe quite a few F's. I think doing your research, watch a YouTube video. HRC has a great one that's even on your Uber app right now for Pride Month that breaks down everything. And I learned a couple things, and I think I pretty, know this stuff. I think for the beginning of your question, what people can do is speak up when you hear somebody say something derogatory. You purposefully mean. If you get it right at that moment when they're saying, some derogatory comment, and that's through all, not just the LGBTQIA, but it's the Black community, it's the Latinx community. When you speak up right then and say, I'm not okay with hearing that, I'm not okay with you doing these actions, then it really takes it up a notch, and you wouldn't believe how many people around them will support that, but they're just too scared to say anything. But I think that's the biggest thing, is to speak up.
I agree. I think one of the reasons I had the letters and pronouns show is because I got so tired of people making fun of the letters and pronouns. And it was not out of I don't think it was out of a disrespect so much as it was out of education. They didn't understand it and they didn't want to sound stupid. No excuse at all. I think that's where the point was. So I'm like, I'm so freaking tired of people making fun. Oh, all those stupid letters. I can't tell you how many times I've had to correct somebody on that. Debo is the one who said the letter matters. That letter matters to that person. And so that was sort of the impetus behind that. Yeah. Lou, how about you? What do you think?
I mean, I say ask, we're not going to bite your head off. That's what we're here for, right? Education and community and togetherness and everybody being happy, right? So there's just so many ways to not, if you don't feel comfortable going to the center, or if you're a younger person going to the Zebra Coalition, but I'm sure somebody who identifies as part and parcel of our community. Ask them and say, hey, what the heck does this mean? What are these pronouns? Well, how do I address somebody? And if you don't know and you feel like you're going to offend somebody, just call them by their name. How about saying, hey, I'm not, what's your name again? And just call them by their name. How hard is that, right? But just ask. I'm sure if you don't know, any one of us would be more than happy to say, sure, let's have this conversation, because it starts with us, right?
It does.
It's all about curiosity.
Yeah. That's exactly that's exactly my opinion of it too. As Lulu said, is that if you're coming from a place of wanting to understand and learn, and you're asking somebody, I think that's going to go across way more differently than doing it in a different kind of. And that's really what we need, is just people to come from that place of wanting to understand.
Right.
Yeah. And on the flip side, I think it's super important to be able to express yourself, express how you're feeling in the moment, but also do it with love and sincerity. Yeah. Try to educate with love and sincerity.
I would agree.
Absolutely.
I've seen where people have asked, and there's been that snap correction. Well, it's they them. It's a concept that a lot of people don't understand. And if they're trying to understand, I would agree with what you just said. Be patient with them, because if they're really coming from a place of wanting to learn, the last thing you want to do is make them feel bad about asking the question.
Right.
Which is where a lot of the fear comes from. Talk about the real estate world, Eric. We had a lot of questions before we went live. about how do you work in it? Do you only, and I'm going to ask all of you, but these are the kind of questions that people don't understand. Do you only work with the LGBTQ plus community? Do you only work with somebody who has your belief system? What's your process like? And explain to them. I'm going to let you do it because I feel like it's an interesting question. It has a little ignorance behind it and presumption. But if enough people asked it, which they did, I think it's something important to talk about.
I love everybody. I get along with everybody. I mean, I live on Muriel Street, right across the street from Pulse. And at any given day, if you went down my street,
he would freeze. It's a good look, though, Eric.
It is.
It is.
All right, Lou, I'll let you go.
looks like the United Nations over
there he
here.
is.
Everybody. Okay, sorry. Can you guys hear me? Am I back?
Yes, you're good. Go.
Yeah.
You're good. Maybe not.
No.
All right, Lou, I'll let you go.
Sure. I work with anyone and everyone. I don't feel like I need to be selective because at the end of the day, it's not legal, right? It's not legal for me to say, I'm not going to work with you because you're, not gay or straight or whatever the case may be. I'm me. And if you know me, you know that I embrace and love everyone. I don't particularly go out of my way to offer up too much information in the beginning when I'm meeting a buyer or a seller, because I don't know them. I don't know what their beliefs are. I don't know what their preferences are. Maybe they don't want to work with somebody that's, gay or lesbian or whatever. And if that comes up in communication and that's the case, then I would be more than happy to refer them out to somebody else. I've never encountered anyone that doesn't want to work with me once they find out. Just because we built a relationship. I hope I never have that happen to me, but I'm sure I might, in the future, you never know. But I don't just work with my community. I don't discriminate just because, how hypocritical would that be of me, right? If I want to be loved and accepted by everyone. And at Live Realty, we believe in working with everyone. If you're a human with a heartbeat and you want to buy or sell, we're going to work with you. And I hope that they would feel the same way about me. At the end of the day, I just want to make that dream come true for anyone. And I don't think it has anything to do with who I sleep with at night. So I don't know. Or during the day.
It's like, what if I said, well, I'll only do business with somebody who wears crazy jackets. Like, it's just, I don't understand why people think like that. I would never be that limiting in building a relationship.
Right.
But again, I think a lot of it comes from lack of education and fear. What about you, Shawn and Jimmy?
Everything that LuLu said, honestly.
We're basically, we operate as willing to work with anybody that's willing to work with us. If they want to work with us, then, we want to work with them.
We embrace and accept everyone for who they are, no matter what their values are, no matter if theirs are different from ours. We accept everyone for who they are. And that's, I think, should be the golden rule, right? Everybody should just accept everybody for the way they are and everything, and that's okay. We are fortunate to have the business we have because we have people seek us out. We're a referral-based business. We're a sphere and network-based business. So the people that seek us out for who we are, for a reason. And a lot of that is because we are involved with the community. We are LGBT realtors. So giving back to that community means a lot to us. But we also have, families. We're working with a family right now with, a daughter that just came out. We worked with another family with, a trans couple that they just came out and they're building the life together. So it's so great to be able to give back to our community on that level. But not only them, but the allies as well. So at the end of the day, we accept everybody for who they are and promote that at the same time.
Love it. All right, I'm going to ask one last question before we head out. People hear the word inclusion a lot. It's one of those buzzwords. It's a big deal. It's pretty much anywhere. If somebody's talking at a conference, they're going to be talking about inclusion, which I think is incredibly important. But I think a lot of people don't understand what that actually means. And so I'd love to get your take on that, what your definition is, because I feel like if you get hung up on the word inclusion, then you're automatically going to shut down. And I think people should open up, listen to what inclusion means. It doesn't mean, I know nobody said this, but I guarantee they thought it. They're going to drink the Kool-Aid, and all of a sudden they're going to go from an ally to be part of the other. People are just, they think funny. So when you think inclusion, define it for them. And I'll start with you, Eric.
Well, I sometimes I hear the opposition use the word inclusion, and I'm thinking, I don't know exactly if they get the entire meaning of inclusion. It's to me, inclusion, it's really by the definition of what I think we've all been talking about today. So, I don't think that I think when it's understood by people, that if you're saying about drinking the Kool-Aid, I think that goes back to the educational thing. I really don't. If people really think that you're going to be changed or turned or something like that, if somebody still thinks of that, it's really kind of that's a shallow way of looking at things, because I think it's pretty conclusive now that we're all born this way. And I know this is the last question, but Ted, can I take a second, just because I know
you do, man.
I wanted to say something that I know that's passionate to everybody on here and the realtors in general. We live in a great place, but we do not live in an affordable place. And I just want to take a second that the Florida Realtors are putting a constitutional amendment to protect affordable housing money that has been set aside from every time that Shawn.
Oh, no.
There he goes. Oh God, he even said your name, Shawn.
This is
my
fun.
name. All right, I'm gonna mute him, so when he comes back, we'll be fine. But Lou, we'll let you go.
So I love where he was going with this, because yes, it's to be inclusive, you have to know what you're talking about, right? You can't just say I'm inclusive, but then murmur behind people's backs and say, I support you and I include you in my plans, in my life, in my business, and then vote against me. You know what I mean? Or, plot against me. If you're going to be inclusive, you have to be all in or not. It's not like you can be a little bit pregnant, right? So you can be a little bit inclusive. To me, like, it's all or nothing in a way. Yes. Because, it's one of those things that, it's important and it matters, and it has to be something that's genuine, right? If you're not genuinely inclusive, it's going to show, right? And it goes back to like what Eric was saying, which I'm dying to hear the rest of it. Education, the education and being part of that movement of educating others, so they can, maybe somebody's not inclusive because they don't know what that means. What does it mean?
A lot of people don't. I think a lot of people hear it, they think it's a buzzword, and they don't do any kind of. I'm going to take him off again. They don't do any kind of research.
Exactly.
And so because they don't research, they don't know, and because they don't know, nothing changes, which is why having these conversations is so important.
Listen, if it was about drinking the Kool-Aid, I would have drank it a long time ago. You know what I mean? If it was that easy.
Yes, guys, you're not going to catch anything. I know
you're not going to catch the gay, I promise. The gay agenda. Our only gay agenda is for everyone to love and support each other. If that's a terrible agenda, then I don't know. I don't get it, right?
All right, Shawn, Jimmy, how about you two?
Great. I mean, just what they both said. And you're not only including the LGBTQ plus community and wanting acceptance for that, you're including the ally community too. Across the board, everybody should be included. And if you don't understand what that means, at least have the empathy to reach out and try to figure out and understand what that means. You don't necessarily have to understand it now to be inclusive. That's something learned. And I think the message there all starts with us. So.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. All right, Eric, Jimmy, do you want to say anything? Add to it? I keep forgetting there's two of you there, even though I'm cognizant of it. I don't want Shawn to have to speak for you.
Jimmy.
No, he did. Perfect.
Okay, good. All right, Eric, finish up.
Oh my gosh, it's so terrible. Thank you for your patience, all. But I just wanted to say that there's a constitutional amendment. The Sadowski funds were, when we sell a house, a portion of.
Oh my God, no.
A portion of the funds. We're going to get Eric to do an entire video that we're going to post. Poor guy.
Yes, please.
All right. So tell them, first of all, thank you guys for coming on. It was so good. I think we had a ton of comments you can't see, but a lot on LinkedIn and a lot on YouTube because people I really do believe people want to learn. And the only way for them to learn is to make it human, make them see LuLu, Rivera, Freeman, and Shawn and Jimmy and Eric, and actually see that you're living, breathing human beings that aren't trying to force whatever Kool-Aid they think on them. It's just amazing we have to even have that conversation in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best thing for them? Please.
Can I tell a story?
Yes, tell a story. I love a story.
So before Jimmy and I got into real estate, we had friends or mentor that we considered a mentor at the time tell us to, in so many words, not really be ourselves. Not go out of our way to be ourselves, not show that we're a gay couple, not tell people that we're gay or married, that we shouldn't, promote ourselves or the LGBTQ plus community. And that was really one of the last things he ever said to us because we shut him out. We're like, this is not why we got into the business at all. We got into the business to not only celebrate everybody that we're helping buy or sell, we got into celebrate who we are. And that's exactly what pride is about. That's exactly what being inclusive is about, to celebrate each of us who we are. So I guess the message is don't listen to everything you hear.
So true.
Just be yourself.
So true.
And be happy with who that is, no matter who it is, So
I love it.
Yeah,
I so agree with that.
I think it's interesting because I think a lot of people want to pigeonhole other people into categories that they can wrap their heads around from their perspective. And I just want to encourage people that just because it doesn't fit in your little parameters of how you think people should be, that doesn't mean it's wrong or bad or crazy. It just means it's something you don't know about. So educate yourself on it and leave the judgment part somewhere else because it just has no place in our community. All right. So you guys share how they can best reach you real estate professionals, you. LuLu, I'll go with you.
Okay. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, LuLu Rivera Freeman. Send me a message. You want to know about something totally unrelated to real estate or whatever, it doesn't matter. Just if you need somebody to reach out to, maybe you don't feel comfortable asking your friends or family, ask me. I would love to be an asset or an ally to anyone. And I wanted to piggyback on something you said. Educate yourself, but educate your children.
Yes.
Okay, because there are so many children that are just spewing things that they don't even know what they're saying.
Agreed.
As a mom of two amazing daughters and a new grandma, our life, our motto has always been inclusivity. Even before I even knew I had the gig, before I even experienced with anything. Knowledge comes from our families, from our parents. We don't let your kids be educated at school when it comes to sensitive subjects like this, because I can promise you, if you don't do it, your children are going to hurt for it.
Agreed.
So if you are a minor on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever, and you need somebody to talk to, I'm here.
I love it. Thank you, Lou. All right, Shawn and Jimmy, you want to wrap it up for us?
Yeah, I mean, you can't get away from our social media.
I love it.
I love it. That's what I love.
Social media is definitely the best way to get in touch with us, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn, Central Florida Homeboys. That's where you'll find us. You can also email us if you want, info@cflhomeboys.com.
I love you guys. I appreciate you coming on. You do any, when I ask, you always say yes, and I'm so thankful. I just want to get the message out, even if it's 1,000 times a year. We'll still reach one person, and I appreciate all of the things that you all do, and Eric Rawlings and Ben, who I don't know what happened to Ben, but we still love you, Ben. Y'all get involved, educate yourselves, reach out to these amazing professionals, human beings. But if you're not comfortable there, reach out to me and I'll put you in touch with them. Get educated, get involved, and let's all make a difference together. I appreciate all of you. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Bye.
We'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.